tipsy. Hidden gem chip stock.
And we are live. Vocal Dialect, Season 1, Episode 15. We have Queen Goddess Hope in the building. Kinwato Ikea, and I am Knowledge Born 7. What's up, family? How y'all doing out there in TV
Peace to
land?
the god. Peace to the gods and goddesses of the earth. What is good? What is good? How's everybody?
Good
Chilling,
in the
chilling,
hood.
chilling. I had a little feedback. I had to mute, had to mute it out. All right, kid. I know you holler at Gerald. What was his topic? I put it into the thing. What did he mean by his topic that he presented to us
Well, you
from
want
my
to talk
brother
about
Gerald Moore? From Go ahead, kid.
kings and queens and relationships and prosperity in our community. That's what he wanted to talk about. So
All right.
it'll be on
Anybody got
replay.
any
So
dialogue for that? Open up.
Hopefully he chime in. Yeah, I really wanted to understand the synopsis and what the visualization was as far as coming up with the topic. Because when I hear the relationship between kings and queens, and truth just be told, let's just be frank, there's really a war within our community amongst black men and black women, kings and queens, niggas and bitches, and males and females. Those are all different variations of melanated beings. And I'm sure the list can go on and on and on with that.
Right.
Shout out to Obasi because he's definitely somebody who says that all the time. But just really thinking about the tension right now, I probably argue more with men than I do women on social platforms. So when I heard us coming together on this topic, I was like, yes, let's talk about this. There's such division amongst our communities right now, and it's really sad. And I continuously blame the oppressor for that whole single woman initiative and men incarcerated. It really makes me sad, because I know a lot of single black women who are doing amazing in their careers, amazing in their lives, and live a certain type of lifestyle and want their counterpart to also either have lived that or blend together so they can have a black family, a strong black family, built on solid foundations and morals and such, and how our grandparents and ancestors have taught us. But there are a lot of young adults who are also losing hope. You know, it's nothing for me to meet 20 something year old men that are under 25 with 3 and 4 children already. You know,
Wow.
I'm child. And these people are collecting, you understand? Like they making money, but me as a single black woman with no children who's doing, great for myself, I cannot date somebody who has 3 and 4 children. If your income isn't, at a certain level, when are you going to have time for me? I don't have children. I want to have children. So when are you going to have time for me? There that whole dating initiative and phase is cut out by having so many children. And I think that too many women are complacent with the concept of this promiscuous lifestyle. Like there's no rush to be intimate with anybody. There's no reason to have 3, 4, 5 children before you're 30 years old. Like is crazy to me. For somebody who was told to, abstain until you're married, drilled in your brain, or to be cautious with your body and don't be promiscuous and so on and so forth. It's like, does that exist today?
Hmm.
Knowledge, you have a daughter, you know what I mean? Like, I know that y'all was not playing in that household. Like,
Nah, we
you got the
listen, listen,
weapons.
listen. I only We don't even rock like. Well, actually, my daughter's a female version of me, so shout out to the world because they got a problem out there, not me. So she
That's
not gonna play no
offended.
games. I'm just gonna be real with you. She will erase and replace. So and she real strict. She has a lot of strict. I gave her some rules. She has a lot more strict rules than I gave her. So and she
Yeah, yeah,
has she,
yeah.
she has been out here in the dating world. She talk how men are trash. Not on no, not on their business.
Basura.
Procrastinating. Mommy issues, daddy issues, control issues. So
Somebody got to mute their line.
Shaka,
Yeah,
mute your
most
line.
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah,
most
so
definitely. I
Shaka,
feel
mute your
like a
line,
lot of
Shaka.
he got it. It's yeah,
Okay.
because or he has to mute the YouTube and then come back to the Zoom. Um, it's real interesting though, knowledge, because I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. My mom was a Southern Baptist, so for me, you couldn't get more strict than either one side, and while I probably say, like, I had a wilding out phase because I was definitely that girl dropping it like it's hot dancing on couches at 23 in New York City nightclubs, having no business being there at 5 a.m. But that was me, and that was definitely my lifestyle. But when I think about the relationship between kings and queens, when it comes to prosperity, I think really the prosperity is in communication. Because one thing that's really lacking between us as a people is the communication. A lot of people don't know how to communicate. A lot of people don't know how to express themselves when they are triggered. A lot of people self sabotage relationships and friendships and any type of relationship. This is really why our people don't know how to work for people because
Yeah.
of trauma. Do you understand? Because you're
Yep.
not about to tell me what to do. My mother told me what to do my whole life. Shut shit down. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no way that I'm about to sit here and listen to some white person tell me what to do.
Yep. That's how
That
they
is
do.
a trauma response. Let's be
It
frank.
is. It is.
So
But
it's
we still
like,
have
how
some
are we
main
going to be
thing.
prosperous without healthy communication? That's number one.
Of course, communication is key, and we have to take a look at every scenario. One thing I do say when I talk to young men is we haven't had a real rites of passage. So therefore, we have to look at things at a different scope. But us as a people, we were driven together on hard times, and we were separated on hard times as well. But we
Mm-hmm.
learned how to stick together when it was most effective. Now we do not stick together at all, and we have become desensitized. We have lost our family value. We have lost a lot of key components that made us strong as a people and made us stand on business as as a people, and we kind of lost a lot of stuff. We ranking low now as far as technology, education. So we're right
Definitely.
now for the indigenous man and woman. Right now, we are at a rebuilding stage. I hate to say it like that, but we are. But
Absolutely.
there are some areas as far as the world we are controlling, and we can control a lot more if we learn how to bend our will. What I mean by bending our will, I mean
Mm-hmm.
if we learn how to, I know we can master ourselves, but we need to learn how to master sometimes our surroundings as well, and that will give us
Mm-hmm.
the tools that we need to be at a man a real higher self. But
Mm-hmm.
we're not moving in that avenue because we being blocked, and we still have a lot of the crab mentality. And
Mm-hmm.
believe it or not, the Willie Lynch letter still is in play as we speak because we tear each other down. And by us being the only race that has been taught to kill one another, because at first we did not kill one another,
That's a fact.
especially in ancient Kemet, it was more like You bring your best warrior, I bring my best warrior. Whoever wins, win. It was not 100 and 1,000 men dying in the battle. That was more European
War
type of
tactic.
war. Yeah, war tactics. We
Mm-hmm.
It's not like that. And whoever won, we was like, well, you give me, give me 1,000 oxes, 1,000 asses, give me two virgins, something like that, something like that. But
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
we have fell off so bad. Believe it or not, there's a lot of us that do have money. I've been doing some research. There's a lot of black people that have money. I'm talking about have big money,
Mm-hmm.
but we're not funneling the money through our communities. Of course, we don't really have a community. They say the ghetto was ours. But even still, we're not funneling the money through our people as far as like black businesses, as far as higher education. Even though I know we are part of Western European society, we have a curricular system, but we can do a lot more as far as mentor and teaching our people. There are a lot of rich black people. I'm just gonna be for real.
I saw a lot of them at InvestFest. You have to remember, we have this topic of conversation often about how much money Black people funnel into the system. No,
Yeah,
it's almost at
yeah.
$1 trillion. So it's not a lack of money. We have the money because I know a lot of fly MFs. You understand? Like, one thing that we gonna do is pop out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like it's not about the money and it's not about prosperity. So for me, if I'm in prayer and if I'm in deep meditation, one thing that always comes up is preparation, abundance, and prosperity. Because you could have prosperity and it not be anything that has to do with money. Real money, dead presidents, as they would say, has nothing to do with that. Being prosperous is more or less to me a feeling, an energy, an environment. For me to be prosperous is to have health, good health, longevity, a loving partner, for those who are married. My kids are happy, my kids are fed, they look fly because kids get fresh, like parents are sowing into their bloodline in many ways. But I would love to see the transition of prosperity look like education because let's be frank, I just heard a report yesterday about Baltimore City schools, how the math education level was at like 7%.
Mm,
And it's like, so there are only 7% of children who can read and write according to their actual grade level. That's
mm.
atrocious.
That's
Do you
bad.
understand? Like, that's terrible. And for me to have been college educated, peace, Gerald, what's good?
Hey,
You
hey, hey,
up,
hey,
up, up, up,
everybody.
two finger.
Captain Jerry finally came in. We've
Hey,
been working at it.
everybody.
We've been working at it.
How
We've
you
been
doing,
working at it.
gods and God? How was
Yeah, we gotta have
everybody?
the captain in. So, Jerry, let me ask you.
My
Thanks
Let
for
me
your
ask you
apology for
one
being
topic.
thing.
so late.
That's all right. That's all
You know
right.
how
Let
it
Thanks
me
for
ask
is
your
when it's technical
topic.
difficulties.
let me
Always.
ask
I
you something.
told you about this earlier.
Let me ask you something, brother Gerald. What made
Certainly.
you come up with this subject, brother?
I just think that us as a people and as a family unit, when we're talking about the community, we need
Right.
this. First, we need to understand we've constantly been dealing with the fact of our traumas. But I think now what we need to do is learn collectiveness with family, especially mates. Because if we're together, everything else falls in line. But when you have constant conflict within the family unit, that nucleus of that unit has a tendency to diminish. So I just thought this would probably be a good subject for us to cover, to talk about, to see where we can possibly add some positivity to it so we can come together. Because I hear a lot of a variety of breakups in the last few days. And it got to be something going, frequency or something going around or some type of,
Absolutely.
That's crazy because
it's
we were
just
talking about that today, but earlier, brother Gerald. Shoot, I
Hey,
was
Truth
yeah.
be
Gerald,
told,
do me
though,
a
brother
favor.
Gerald.
Gerald, do me a favor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Give me your title again for the show.
What was the title? What did I put? Hold on.
Something. So
I
what
said,
I had just posted up something on Instagram, and it was just basically saying like, "Hey, we are live right now on YouTube, speaking about
mhm,
how us as a collective can be prosperous together."
exactly.
And
Right, right.
how can kings
Exactly.
and queens? I said, how can we be prosperous today as kings and queens? And prior to you, popping up, I was basically kind of just getting into the nitty gritty of who we are as a people and how prosperity isn't always monetary. Prosperity,
Right.
when I'm in my prayer life and being still in meditation, after yoga, so on and so forth, getting these downloads, I pray for prosperity, but when I pray for prosperity, it's never monetary. It's always good health, a place to rest my head at night, just all of those other things that don't equal to money. Because to me, if I'm manifesting money, it's going to come. Money is
Mhm.
currency. And I think people really need to understand the truth about money, because there are people who will hoard money. There are people who will mattress it. There are people who will box it up, have a stash spot, all of these things about money. But in reality, it's currency. Think of it as an ocean wave. I have the waves behind me. Think about it as it coming in and going out. If
Mhm.
you're not spending, that means you're not getting it in. I would love to see the money just sit in my account and accumulate. But what good is the government paying me for keeping that shit there? They already loaned that out from the day I put it in. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So we have to change our mindset that prosperity is not always money. Because let's be frank, we're not equipped to handle the Benjamins or money in a way that's going to lead us to true prosperity. So it's way deeper than that, And to your point, I mentioned earlier that a lot of people are generally here, and we're always seeing a lot of people come at odds, and they're always at neck and neck. And to your point earlier, I had mentioned last year that a lot of people are going to start breaking up, because it's not to say that they're not meant to be together. There's something called the twin flame union. For us spiritual people, some spiritual people are fully aware of the twin flame path. And all that means is that you reincarnated to this earth with somebody who is your equal, who shares a split soul with you. So there is a masculine and a feminine energy. So while the masculine and the feminine energy always find each other, you'll have a tumultuous relationship. Twin flame unions are not, rainbows and butterflies. These are tumultuous relationships. It is a mirror. It is exactly who you need to see yourself as in the physical. So what you are feeling inside is now reflected on that counterpart that you're in this relationship with. So when you incarnate to this planet as equals, you can be older, younger, it doesn't matter. Your soul has no age, your soul has no gender. So that's why you see a lot of homosexual relationships, heterosexual relationships, like, oh, this is my soulmate, this is my twin flame, this is who I'm supposed to be, because that soul has no gender. That's number one. Number two, people are breaking up because there has to be a level of healing that was triggered while you were together, in order for you to grow, excel, and to live out those things that you have learned in that relationship. Now you need to go out and heal and thrive and become what I call free as fuck. And then when it's time, we call it union, twin flame union. You come back together, and now your relationship thrives because you have both healed. And now, whatever your mission was to come to this earth, now you do that together. And I think that a lot of people just aren't in tune with their souls to realize that this is normal. These are the ebbs and flows of life. We have to start looking at people as lessons and not more like real relationships. I think that too many people are operating from a physical standpoint and not a spiritual standpoint.
Okay. All right,
Yeah,
Queen.
you said, go ahead, Knowledge.
No, go ahead. She out here cutting rugs and stuff, man. What's she doing, man?
I'm just breaking down what I come with. This is how I view relationships. Like for me, a soulmate relationship is a peaches and cream relationship. This person will never test you. It is just so flawless that you're like, is this real? There is no test. It's just bliss. But when you have a twin flame relationship, that is a tumultuous relationship. That person is going to be chokehold worthy. Do you understand? Like, this is a deeper relationship. This person is going to challenge you. At some point, you will separate. So, yes, you are seeing a lot of separation happen just because of what's going on in the cosmos. Saturn and Pluto are in our Earth's orbit right now. Saturn comes every, I think, like 10, 20 years. Don't quote me on it, but it does not come often in our Earth's orbit. But when it is here, it stirs up some shit. So, yes, a lot of people will separate. It is the 9-9 portal, which means that we are in a phase right now where there's a lot of things cleansing and clearing. If you're not vibrationally at a certain level, then you're only going to be around those people who are operating from your level till you get sick and tired of it, till you have no point but to rise up. This is where we are. There's too much division amongst our people. And that's why I adored this topic, because how can we come together and be prosperous?
Yeah, now see, that's what my intent was when I brought up the topic. It was the fact that when you talk about a soulmate, as you made a comparison to, and that's knowing the mind and knowing yourself. Because a lot of times when we're in relationships and as we get older, the relationships that we come involved with are ones where we're trying to make up for the other person's loss. But you had talked about, you stated the fact that how when you meet that person, you and them are supposed to be able to connect. You're supposed to be able to understand each other. And when you're communicating with each other, you're actually going to change, because you're going to change for the situation of what that person is in, as well as you're going to change for that person. That comes together. But what we're finding out, as you said, because of the situation of the planets. Now, if you're talking about Pluto and the other planet, we are separating. We also going into a state where it's the equinox. We're going into the winter equinox, where things are dying. The trees are dying. The plants are going to be dying. Now relationships are dying. People aren't supposed to die. That's the time you come together and you support each other. And as I said, I wasn't looking at it from a monetary standpoint. I was looking at it from a relationship standpoint. And as you said, when we look at the waves of the water, when you're looking at the waves of the water, that's the turbulence that's in the relationships now. It's not calm, smooth water like it used to be. At one period of time, you can see the togetherness at this time of year. People came together at this time of year. When the spring came around, they were even closer. But now you're seeing that they're dissipating those friendships. They're getting rid of those relationships. And it's not that the fact that we can't come together, but we just don't try, because we've been so programmed to be or think or see in a certain way. And as you said, the monetary aspect is destroying us. It really is. The woman wants to have a man that's making 100,000. The man wants a woman that just wants to love him and respect him. A woman wants somebody to love him. Why you can't talk about that? Why you can't come to that type of consensus? Because I know we don't want to look at money, because money always tears us up. Look at every time death is in the family. When death comes along and the finances, man, breaks families apart. Siblings and everybody fall apart. So the thing of it is, what I was looking at, I was saying from the relationship standpoint, I would prefer seeing us come together and start dealing with us as a family. Because without family, that nucleus, we have no community at all. And as you said, I'm not with the perversive way of relationships. I don't get that. I don't get that at all. But I do believe in what I say the nucleus. When I say the nucleus, I mean the mother, the husband, and the kids. All of it, I'm gonna leave that alone, because I can't voice my opinion on that.
See, the brother Shaka Sankofa on as well.
Peace, happy solar return,
brother.
Shaka.
Yeah, brother here, brother General.
General
Oh,
Shocky.
peace, y'all. I
Peace, peace,
appreciate you.
peace.
He
I
probably got a
Without
appreciate
good.
all the love, man.
absolutely.
Queen God
Um,
touched on something.
Oh, there you go.
She
you're
touched
not
on
gonna
something.
show up on the YouTube as a physical. Can we hear him if he's not physically
Yeah, we can.
viewable?
Yeah,
Okay.
we
can.
still here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Queen God has touched on something. That key word out of the whole dialogue. Everybody's input was excellent, but prosperity. You know, but before that, when the term kings and queens, those terms have to be actually earned, and they have to be demonstrated within. You know, now the term kings and queens have started to become just a fad now.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know, and it really doesn't. The true meaning of it and the true energy behind it has dissipated within the masses of the people. You know, it's more like terms of endearment now. But prosperity is a energy motivated and spiritual discipline, because when you remove, and I touched on that last night, when we're stripped of everything, all of the things that we enamor ourselves with to try to make up, to appear to be something or somebody else, you know, these images that we portray, when those things are removed, that goes back to what Gerald was saying about the relationship piece and the analogy about the waves, the turbulence, Saturn, you know, all of those particular energies, all of those things play into our makeup and how we move and function today, you know, and it's all energy based. It's all energy based. It's all divinely prepared, you know, and when Queen Goddess was talking about the money and how it doesn't mean anything, that putting the money into these banks where they don't do nothing but loan your own money out and then
Mhm.
put compounded interest on it. You know, when you remove yourself from that, and that no longer becomes a priority for your existence as a tool of motivation, then you're able to deal with yourself. You're able to actually see yourself for who you really are. That's why I always say strip yourself of everything. When the sisters take up, remove the you know, the hair weaves, you know, all the makeup, the transgender starter kits, you know, the
The BBL bullshit.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Y'all know I
Yeah.
hated that shit.
BBL, I mean, you know,
Hey, listen.
Baby.
Hold on one second. Hey, Shaka, hold on. I gotta say this real quick. I mean, cut you off. So, my partner been doing some research on the BBLs. He know guys who talk to females with BBLs. He said they be stinking.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh
Been heard
man.
that.
you know, you can go to Home Depot. They go to Home Depot and buy ass because they sell the silicone in Home Depot. And now and the silicone that's in Home Depot is behind. It's in lock cages now because they're actually
Right.
going
I
in
got a
there
Home Depot across
stealing.
the street. I'm about to walk over there tomorrow
Yeah,
and check that shit out, my guy.
yeah. They doing the homemade injections. They're going to buy all the
Oh,
silicone out of there. You know, a sister might go in.
absolutely.
Yeah, a sister might go into. She might go into auntie's house. You know, with the ass so flat enough it can't even say good morning to a chair. But when she comes out of that house, you know, she's like, what's the lady's name that they used at the Clara Barton? What's the name? Clara Barton or something? Sarah Barton.
Sarah.
The
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about
Yeah,
it.
Sarah
Yeah.
Barton. You know,
Yeah.
it just happens that quick now. And silicone, for people who may not know, silicone deflates in time, just like a tire. If
Mhm.
you got air in the tire in the
Absolutely.
car just
Mhm.
sits, those tires will, the air
Yeah.
will start coming out of the tires and the tires will go flat if the car's not moving. And that's the same way with the silicone because it's air compressed in those tubes and stuff. And so it's a gas as well. And that's what Knowledge was talking about, how it stinks and a lot of those sisters leave a whole bunch of feces stains all over toilets and stuff like that. They're not wiping themselves properly because they've overdone it. But when you
They're
remove all of
moving.
those BBLs and you move everything, the Steve Harvey wig kits, I'm talking about far as the brothers, because a lot of them are wearing wigs now. Those Steve Harvey Bush kits, um, and dyeing their hair and all that type of stuff. When you
Mhm.
remove all of that, and then you have to look at yourself for who you really are. For who you really are in that mirror, I mean, eye to eye contact with your soul. You know, you can read all the
Absolutely.
books, you can talk all the shit you want, and you can know this and you can know that. You can count every star in the galaxy. You can know all of that. But until you have that ultimate spiritual meeting with that God or goddess face to face, then you're not going to prosper. You're not going to prosper because you're never able, and you don't give yourself a chance to see yourself for who you really are. And that's the thing that we battle with. And and that leaked out into families. Because Queen Goddess was touching on that family stuff where, some families just not gonna get together because some family is too infected with self-hatred and PTSD, post-traumatic slave disorder. It's just not, everybody's not going, those days are about over with, where you can get at the Thanksgiving table and everybody hold hands and do the Lord's Prayer and shit and cut a dead bird. Them days are long gone now. Now it's about
So
people
true.
finding actually where they belong in the planet and who they belong around and who they belong with, who has their best
Absolutely.
interest. Because everybody's related, because we're not responsible for the womb we came out. And even the womb that we come out now, you got parents that hate on their own seeds. You
Oh
have
yeah.
parents that actually hate on their own seeds. They jealous. They've let a lot of time gone by. They can't understand their own children's rise. Instead of them, having pride into having children that have become successful, they do everything they can to sabotage their rise above from the ashes. So um,
We
this is
talked about
why
that
we have
earlier.
these ciphers today. This is why we have these ciphers today. All of us come from a different walk of life. All of us have shared tumultuous, extreme difficulties in our journeys to bring us to this point. And so
Absolutely.
once those things are taken care of, then you can seek, someone that can share your journey with you. Because it's, like once again, people say a lot of stuff, and y'all sisters do it too. Y'all real beautiful. Y'all bring the best representatives of yourselves to a relationship. But let 3-4 days go by,
Right.
you
Three,
know.
4 days.
Oh,
I
It
say
don't take
90
yeah,
that
to
long. A
120.
few
Shit.
hours.
3, 4 days is
yeah,
A
terrible.
yeah.
few hours.
And brothers do that too. They
Yeah,
say
they
God
do.
and goddess and all this stuff. They bring the date rape kit, which is flowers, candy, and wine. Um, they come fully equipped. They got their dashiki soaked in frankincense. They talking everything out of metadata. They talking Arabic. But next week, let that football game come on, and
So,
you stand in the way of that TV.
so Shocky, so in other words, you say some people just really being fake, right?
Hmm.
With themselves, not with you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
And they don't
Yeah.
even know
It,
how to not
but
be their authentic selves,
but
which is
Right.
mind-boggling.
if a person is being fake with themselves, they don't have no other choice but to be
But
fake
you
with
don't
you.
know that until you will never
Yeah.
know that until the behavior speaks, because your behavior doesn't lie.
Now,
Right. I agree.
I'm
I
gonna tell
agree.
y'all this: the balancing of the two energies is very complex. The balancing of the two energies is very complex. So it has a lot to do with us as a people and having some form of a rites of passage. If your mama was goofy, you're gonna be goofy. It's a very
Not
slim
really.
chance. It's a very slim chance that you're not gonna be goofy. Okay, if your dad was
It's
stupid, you're gonna be
genetic.
stupid.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a very sim. You know, it's like some people make it, some people don't. But some of us do learn from looking at our other family members and be like, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to do that. And then that particular person as an individual
Right.
make sure that he's not going that way. But I'm just being for real. I told this to a young lady, she got mad. My mama not goofy. I'm just telling you the truth. If your mama was goofy, you're gonna be goofy unless you're gonna change that. I'm just keeping it
Look.
100. You know what
Hey,
I'm
brother.
saying?
Hey,
Let me
brother
say.
Nada, you got a point there too.
Go ahead, Jared. Go ahead, Jared.
Oh, thanks, Ken. Brother Nada, you hit a valid point, and that's really central about what you just said, because I read this book a long time ago called Dr. Mearns, How to Deal with Jerks. And in there they had those self-testing pieces where you test yourself to see if you were like your parents. And you're right. If your parents was a jerk, you're gonna be a jerk. But it don't always necessitate that you continue on that path, because you can change. It's just how much effort you put in of how you want to change that narrative. Because I know, and I would tell you, and I know this, I know my father was a jerk. I know my mother was a jerk at times. And she probably was more than he was. But I vowed and I tried to change that particular narrative, because I don't want to emulate that type of activity. I don't want to emulate the way he thinks. I went further than him in school than he ever did. My father only went to the ninth grade. I went to college. I got a college degree. So I changed that perspective and concept when I built my own constructive way of life now. So I didn't have to follow that. But you are correct on that. And I think that's that's what I was talking about, the turbulence in the relationship. See, we don't think that we being our parents, but we are. And a lot of times people don't see that. They say, I don't got a nasty attitude,
100%.
but you find out after dealing with them over a period of time, their attitude is just like their mother. I done seen that quite a number of times in my lifetime. So if we don't learn to change ourselves, nothing else is going to change, and we're going to have these repeated cycles continuously as we have.
Shaka said it one time on his show. He said, if you want to change, you have to want it badly.
That's
If
right.
you want to change, you have to want it bad. You can't sit around saying you want to lose weight and you get off work and you are sitting on the couch eating ding dongs and ho hos and shit. You know, if you somebody you want to lose weight, then you go and lose. Start working out. But but if you want to change, you want it badly. You know what I'm saying? Shaka spoke on it. A couple of times actually. And he talk, I know he's talking about like people in the community who be doing the same stuff though. But I figured that out. I'm just being for real with you. After dealing with people in
Yeah.
the community, I figure out if your mama goofy, you're gonna be goofy. If your dad
Stop
is a
saying that.
I don't think in all
I
cases,
don't, I,
man.
I don't
your
know about
dad,
that,
I
Miles.
don't
I
your
think
mean,
in
he
all
your
might
dad
have
is a
those
cases. In
traits.
all
goofball.
cases, man. I don't agree with
I
that.
don't know, man.
Your
I
dad
think
is a
you may
goofball
Yeah,
have those
I don't
traits.
agree with that.
unless you
I don't
change.
agree with that.
I'm just
Right,
saying,
Look,
yeah.
let me tell
unless
you.
you change.
Hold
Unless
on,
you change,
hold
he
on.
right.
Yeah, for real.
Okay, for
Unless you
instance, I can
change.
tell you a little thing. I don't agree with it. That's my personal opinion.
Right.
I'm just being
So,
for real.
okay, I could take for instance like my mom. She was an educated. You know what I mean? She grew up in a messed up household. My grandfather was asshole, and my grandmother, which is her mother, didn't know any better. She didn't turn out to be a goofy. She told me a lot of stories, her and my auntie. So
That means she
I don't
changed.
agree
That
with
mean
that.
that means she learned. She had to
No,
learn
that's
from
to me. No,
somewhere.
no, no. To me, that's a case by case scenario.
No, that ain't no case by case. That's the truth, especially dealing with the psychology
Well,
of
you were trying to
any
tell your
man
own
and
opinion,
woman.
and I'm gonna tell you to mine.
Yeah, that's the truth. Dealing with
That's right.
everybody, especially dealing with the psychology of the mind. And I did plenty of
Absolutely.
research and studies on the mind, and it's like I talked to a sister. Her mama was a goofy, and she literally told me, "I'm trying not to be like my mama. I'm just being for real."
Mm-hmm.
I talk to many men who be like, "I don't want to be like my dad," or if their mom and their daddy died and their grandparents, I don't want to be like my grandparents. It may be a
Mm-hmm.
case by case scenario, but this is what we stuck with. I'm telling you point blank.
Mm-hmm.
Unless and see, that's the whole purpose of us being out in the community, because as young men and women, we pick up on different personalities, we pick up on different things. So if you know your mom and dad is this certain way, you might see a sister, a
Mm.
brother, a baba, or somebody in the community or an elder be like, like, I want to be like her. And 9 times out of 10, at your earliest mind, when you learning, you trigger something and you go directly to being like that because you don't want to be like something
No,
that
because
you.
okay, listen to what I'm saying. Because you could grow up seeing your mom as a female, or your dad as a son. Grow up seeing your parents do certain things, and as a child, some children despise that.
Mm.
So that's why I say it's a case by case scenario. I don't agree with that.
You
I
know,
don't.
you know what though, Ken, I said this to agree with knowledge on the fact that uh, I remember I was telling somebody I wasn't gonna never be like my father, nothing like him,
Mm.
nothing like
Right.
him. You know what? I turned around one day and looked in the mirror. I was just like him. Now and didn't grow up with him. Didn't grow up with my father. My father was separate out the home. I just met the guy a couple of times, and I was trying to establish a relationship with him. But then I come to find out, nah, I could do without. I did all these years without you. I can continue on. But then hearing the stories and knowing me, I said, oh man, I'm just like that dude.
Right.
Because you
Right.
know what? This is the thing that I think we have a tendency to forget. Our parents are our first line of people who we come in contact with. Not strangers, it's mom and dad. And just like you said, and you said this, and this was important with what you said. You said your mother was an educator, but your grandfather and grandmother were jerks. Now she probably seen what Nolly said earlier. She seen that, and she said she didn't want to be like that, so she changed. So with her change
Absolutely.
came your change. Because if she had not
Absolutely.
changed, you'd have been the same way.
And that's what we call breaking generational
It's
curses.
in
Let's
yeah,
just talk about it.
exactly,
Yeah,
Let's just talk about
exactly.
it because there are things that I've seen, and y'all know, and this is no shade to no parents because I honor my parents for bringing me into this planet. But there are things that I've witnessed for with them as teenage parents that I never wanted to reenact as an adult. So again, regardless of what your walk of faith is, your prayer life still needs to be abundant. Let's just talk about facts, okay? So that's number one. Number two, you really have to focus on these generational curses because what we're seeing in our youth today is a bunch
Mm-hmm.
of generational curses.
Mm-hmm.
There
Hmm.
are kids having babies at 12 and 13 years old. I cannot even imagine. There are grandparents who are in their 30s and 40s, great grandparents in 50s and 60s. That shit sounds unheard of to me. When I hear that there are great grandparents at that age, I'm like, how is this even possible? I'm damn near 40, and I know women who are having children between 40 and 45 as a norm. There is no reason that we should not have access to this type of prosperity because let's just talk about prosperity as a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, even if you have prosperity as an individual on a mindset, you're bound to have prosperity in your family life, in your future life. Okay. They have this thing called the American dream for a reason. Sure, I don't always agree with it because I feel like you just wanted people to be in debt. We know America as a debt society. So let's just talk about that. But I think there is really something to the concept of, hey, when you graduate this school, go to college, make something of yourself, figure it out. I don't think that it should be immediate. I think that teenagers should really try to go into the workforce and figure out what they want to do. I don't think that should be the thing. Okay, you graduate high school, you have to continue that education. No, find out what these kids really want to do, because I know way too many people who have degrees that are not operating in their degree field. They've done that because their parents said so. Today, I had a conversation with an educator who specifically said, yeah, this role may not be for you as a teacher, but there may be ways that you can contribute to the youth. Right now, I have 10 years in banking and I have 10 years in logistics and management. I'm so tired of dealing with dysfunctional adults because of childhood trauma. If y'all not even open in your mind to want to heal or even hear people out, it's not even about healing. It's really hearing people out. How many times have you tried to address somebody and you can't even have I almost cursed. How many times have you addressed somebody
Yeah,
and can't
that's the
even have a
truth.
conversation
Yeah, that's
because
so
their
true.
ears are just so shut down? You can't even get one line over to them.
Yep.
Like, I'm
I
trying to
get
come
it.
to you on a one-on-one level. You have to, it's all or nothing with this person. Do you understand? There's no
Yep.
middle ground. Like, how can I express myself humbly? How can I approach you in a loving manner? Let's talk about that kings and queens thing. This goes back to my point about communication. Oh, I'm going off right now. When I think about that communication situation, we lack it so much. I literally had to stop talking to 3 guys. Becoming they a lot. It's a lot of guys. I have the options is optioning, but one thing that a lot of people do not have is communication. I provide everything for myself. The only thing I need you to do is be solid, my guy. I don't
That's
need
right.
nothing from you. I don't need anything from you, but the shit that I need is not physical. It's all emotional, and that shows me the level of healing and lack of healing that you may have if you lack communication. That means your mother and your father never let you speak in your house. Your grandmother, your auntie, or whoever raised you,
Right,
they never
right.
let you speak in
Right.
your house.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
You
that's
always
right.
had to listen to what somebody said. And you know what's the difference between me and you? My father always let us talk. Not let us talk. Come on, speak your mind. This is the floor. You got the floor, ma. Speak your mind. Problem. My parents, and maybe that can be a cliche, my parents always raised me as that equal, as that adult. Hey, you human, we got blood, you got blood. I'm an adult, you may be my child, sure, but that does not mean
Yep.
that you don't have
You got your
feelings,
version.
you don't have an opinion. If I don't want to eat this today, do you want your kid to really fucking starve? Or do you just want to feed them something else? And like, there were different levels of us being upbrought in this community called Black culture. It's not a coincidence that I could go to any city all around the world and immediately resonate with my people. Culture. Have the same and similar upbringing. We have to understand that, sure, they exuded a level of leadership, but it's up to us to maintain that and learn how to transmute that into an energy that's going to keep us thriving for another 50 years. For another
That's
80
true.
years. My grandmother, God willing, is going to be 85 in 2 days. That's a luxury today. That wisdom is a luxury today. I'm blessed with that wisdom today. These kids got 40-year-old grandparents and 30-year-old grandparents that don't know anything about the world. They never even had a real job.
Right, right. That's right.
Come on, man. I can't even have this conversation. Like, I'm at a point where it's not about who's on what level, but if y'all can't even have basic communication skills, and if you always want to be about that rah-rah shit, we not on the same level.
Right, right,
Speak to me if I don't speak to you first.
right. That's how it has to be. But you gotta understand this though, Queen, that like Knowledge was saying, we are products of our parents.
We are.
You know, we are products of our parents, and in order for us to, like, when Gerald was saying that about he didn't want to be like his father, jerk and stuff. So we had to reach a certain level of understanding and perception to see that, you know, what direction we were going in. But I don't believe we you know, and that's when we make a decision not to be like that, because you would never know that until you come to a portion to understand. Like Knowledge was saying, when you born, like when if your mother's goofy or your father's goofy, you're gonna have them traits. Some of them traits are never gonna leave.
Mm-hmm.
That's genetically, and that's
Mm-hmm.
science. But some of the stuff that some of the real harsh energies that we saw coming up, you know, when you get to a level of understanding, then you see, oh nah, hell no, hell no. I'm not taking this route. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But you get to a level of understanding that that's not where you want to be at. And so um that was a good point. Some good points that Queen Goddess made. Some very, very good points.
Very good
Very, very
points.
good points. Very good points.
We got 5 minutes left. Anybody want to get their last thoughts on the subject? The subject is, I paraphrase it. The subject is, I put it in the chat, kings and queens, prosperity in the community. I also put in the chat a bunch of other stuff too. Y'all go in there and read it. I also put a description on YouTube.
Mama Earth had said something real quick since we got 5 minutes.
Okay, Mama
Which
Earth.
one? Which one?
We do not take on the images that we.
She said, facts, knowledge, we are the product of our environment. We do take the image that we are exposed to as children until the trajectory of how we think is changed by
Right.
life experience or
That's right.
learning through different exposure. And then she was pom pom cheerleading for Queen Goddess Hope as well. Say it, sis.
That's right.
Pom poms. Let's go with the pom poms for the vocal dialect crew. Okay.
I've been holding that for a while. I had the right time to use it, but you know.
And give Brother Gerald the last word. Gerald, he the one who came up with the subject, man.
Well,
let's go, Brother Gerald.
Well, that as I said before, and I'm gonna say it again. Let's keep things simple. Queen Goddess said it best. Prosperity is not monetary. It has no value to it. If we gonna possibly mind melt, mind mesh, interfuse our understanding of ourselves with the person, with our mate, we're going to grow. If we keep having this discontent, this contentiousness, this aggravation with each other, we're not going to get anywhere. And I'm not talking about man and injury and trauma and all the rest of it. I'm talking about knowing yourself first, and then you can deal with a mate. And once you deal with that mate, you know that you're going to have that love that you ain't going to have to worry about it. Now, love don't happen overnight. It's something that it grows. It continues to perfect, to manifest. It's not nothing that's just going to happen. When people say I'm in love with you, I won't tell nobody I'm in love with you. I'll tell you I love you. Agape love, familiar love, any one of those love. But it's not I'm in love with you. Yeah.
Agape love, Gerald.
That's right. Yeah.
Agape.
That's right. Yeah, we're gonna be friends before we talk about being in love with each other. And I'm gonna give you those Greek loves.
Agape.
Agape. Facts.
Merry Christmas, man.
Baby Christian.
That's right.
We want to Vocal Dialect Podcast. Our special guest was Brother Gerald. The voice you heard is none other than General Shaka said Kofa. Both of these guys for the Street Lost Soldiers. I'm Knowledge Born 7. Queen Got His Hope is over here laughing her heart out. And Kiwato, our kid.
Hey, check it out, man. You know, check us out on Instagram, Vocal Dialect. check out the us on TikTok, Vocal Dialect, as well as Facebook, Vocal Dialect.
Right.
You can check out brother, the General Shaka Sankofa tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. on Facebook. Check him out. His lives be fire. On fire.
Funny
Y'all
as
gotta
hell.
check it out.
You need a midday comedy stretch. Funny as hell.
Oh,
Checking out
yeah.
Nah,
Vocal
we gonna have
Dialect
him
too this
sing.
week. I'm gonna drop about probably about like three or
Yeah.
4 shorts. I
I'm
got
gonna
everything ready. I just
start
ain't
dropping
We
up
gotta
put
get up
them
with
in
that.
yet.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
the
gonna start
general got
dropping up
some.
everything. I've been kind of, so I'm back
The
situated.
general
So
gonna offer us
we gonna
something
be
new tomorrow.
dropping.
He gonna sing.
Yeah. Hey, like, comment, and subscribe to the page, and we appreciate everybody who support this
All right.
page. If
We
you
also
want
want
to
to thank Mother Earth in the chat. She's
Mom
still
Earth,
pom-pom
Mom Earth.
Love,
she's still
love,
pom-pom
Love,
cheerleader
love,
for
love.
Queen Goddess
love
Hope.
and peace.
This
Yeah,
my
right.
sister. I don't care what y'all
Alright,
see.
sister tribe and everything.
Mom Earth, you can stop
Look,
doing
Mama
the
Earth
cartwheel.
closed it out with agape.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. It's Merry Christmas.
All right, Gerald. All right, Gerald. Hey, Gerald, we're gonna have you back, man. We're gonna have you back.
Yo,
All
we
right.
gonna put
Yeah.
agape on
Peace.
the title next
All
time.
All right, we're gonna put agape on there. All right, peace, family. Peace.
All right.
All right.
Peace, everybody.
Peace.